Welcome to Mastering Your Financial Life, hosted by Judy Heft, the founder and CEO of Judith Heft and Associates Financial and Lifestyle Concierge. This year, they're celebrating 26 years in business. In every episode, Judy interviews professionals who help others successfully manage their financial lives. You can find this show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. Judy is the author of 2 books, How to Be Smart, Successful, and Organized with Your Money for a Better Today and Tomorrow, and her latest book, Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles, How to Successfully Manage Money in Every Decade of Life. You can read chapters of her books and catch prior episodes of this show at www.judithheft.com. Now here's the host of Mastering Your Financial Life, Judy Heft.
Hey there. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our 23rd episode of Mastering Your Financial Life. And today I'm really excited to be here with my good friend, Ben Palancia from the Albert Palancia Insurance Agency, which is a 3rd generation company. And they service all different kinds of small to medium to large size businesses with property and casualty insurance. And they really concentrate on helping people that have problems that are hard to insure. So it's really a pleasure to be with you here today, Ben, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. So how did you get started? I mean, I know it's a 3rd generation family business, but how did you get involved in it?
You know, out of college, my uncle made me an offer, who was running the business at the time, asked me, he said, why don't you come into the family business? My grandfather had started it in 1954. So I took him up on it, and I hit the ground running, and 21 years ago, it's flown by.
And you never looked back.
That's it.
You know, that's interesting because I actually also was in the family business for a long time. And I knew once I made that commitment, I wasn't going to be able to leave in a year or two. So I didn't make my commitment right out of college. I waited a little while, had some other work experience, and then I went into the family business. And it's great when you like me, we've never worked for anybody else really except family. So it's a lot different than some of these people that have their corporate horror stories. Can't relate to those. So
it's a different dynamic for sure. There's benefits and detriments like anything else to a family business, but a lot more good than bad for certain.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have 2 sets of families in there, like your father and your uncle, and then
no, my two uncles actually are my 2 partners.
Oh, your 2 uncles. Okay, great. And do you have cousins in the business also?
One of my cousins is my bookkeeper, but no other employees work for me or are partners.
That's interesting. So yeah, so so tell us about some of the types of businesses that you insure, some of the really sticky situations that you've had to handle.
So yeah, I get a lot of difficult types of insurance to do, and it's all different types. So a lot of liability, a lot of workers' comp, a lot of builder's risk, construction insurance, a lot of professional liability. Cyber liability right now is really crazy with everything going on in Russia and Ukraine. People are getting hacked and ransomware issues and whatnot. The Me Too movement has really pushed employment practices liability insurance to a new level, and people need to make sure they're protected. Businesses have to protect themselves from everything and anything to stay afloat.
So tell us a little bit more about the cyber insurance. Like what happens if there's ransomware and you get it? Does your cyber liability insurance cover that?
It could or could not. It really depends. There are a lot of different coverages within cyber liability, such as ransomware and data breach coverage. So it'll protect, help you get your server back if that's what they hack, help you get your company's or your client's credit card and data back if you need to, and it'll protect any fallout from it if you have the right policy. So it's important that you have the right agent protecting you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're so experienced in that. It's great. And then what about the Me Too movement?
So obviously the Me Too movement was ever pressing. So employment practices liability is basically sexual harassment and discrimination coverage. So if an employer or someone in a firm decides to do something that's not that's sexual harassing or discriminatory, then the policy will protect you. And it also protects with the right coverage. There's something called third party coverage that protects from outside people coming in and harassing, whether it's somebody on the FedEx truck coming in to drop off a package and harassing the person at the front desk, to anything that an employer or another employee will do to someone else. And like I said, it's all sorts of protection that you need.
So do you deal with those types of claims? Do you have a
I
lot
do.
of that?
I do unfortunately have to deal with all that, but we're here to protect and not just be there in the good times for our clients, but the bad ones to make them whole again, to make sure they're protected properly.
So are lawyers involved in that?
They could be. They could be very often on both sides, right? So the insurance companies provide their lawyers, or sometimes clients can use their own attorneys and have the insurance companies pay for them with the right coverage. And then obviously there are the plaintiff's attorneys looking for things, and so we help along the way, not just in the quoting and issuing of policies and explaining coverages, but when the bad times happen.
Well, that's good to have someone that's someone like you in their back pocket in case of an emergency. Well, I have someone like you in my back pocket. I have you in my back pocket, so it's great. It's always good to know that if I have a question, I can reach out to you. And you're amazing the way you get back so quickly, and I appreciate that.
I'm happy to. And you know what? Every client has my cell phone number, so I answer. If I don't answer, I call you back. But I always tell people, if you don't hear from me, you call me or email me, and I don't answer you back, you better check with my wife, because I may not be doing too well.
Oh, that's good to know. So what are some of the other types of businesses? I know that we talked about, the cyber insurance and other.
So I do a lot of construction liability insurance and workers' comp insurance for that matter. But New York State, where I do a lot of my work now, I'm licensed in over 30 states and do work internationally, but a lot of my business is New York State construction as it relates to the New York State labor law, which basically says that any fall from height can be from a worker or an employee of a worker or a subcontractor or employee of a subcontractor can sue you on your general liability policy if they get hurt on the job as it relates to a fall from height. So historically, that's really supposed to be a workers' comp type issue, when workers' comp is capped in many states, including New York. But there's no cap on liability insurance. So that is one of the reasons that insurance in New York is so expensive. So I've spent a lot of time advising on that in the construction arena.
So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, and what about, do you do any professional liabilities, that type of thing?
I do a fair amount of errors and omissions and directors and officers coverage for all sorts of professionals, whether it be a nonprofit that needs directors and officers coverage to protect against whistleblowers and misappropriation of funds, to private equity companies that need partnership agreements, and the directors and officers coverage protects for that. And of course, errors and omissions, which is referred to as malpractice in other arenas, for doctor groups, lawyers, accountants, architects, engineers, you name it. We do all the hard stuff. There are a lot of generalists out there, but we really make our living in the hard insurance space.
And so do you do any personal insurance, personal lines?
So yeah, my grandfather, who started the agency, was all personal lines, and one of my uncles was all personal lines, and actually a couple of them. And another one happened to be mostly commercial, and really delved into that arena. And I did the same. And because of that, we are so strong commercially that we do personal and auto and home and flood insurance. And I'm based in Mamaroneck, so flood is an ever present topic here. But we really focus on the hard to place commercial risks. So if someone needs something, we're happy to help. We provide advice. We quote if you need us to quote, but we try and stay in our lane for the most part.
That makes a lot of sense. That way you're experts in what you do. So, we're going to take a little break right now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more, Ben.
Great.
Hey there. I just want to tell you a little bit about my new book that just came out called Mastering Your Financial Life Cycles. And here it is. It's how to successfully manage your money in every decade of life. I co-authored this with my CFO, Liz Levy. And together we created this manual that's going to help you through every stage of life. We talk about having a baby. We talk about young adulthood, pre-retirement, what to do when you're at that age of retirement, if you're contemplating divorce, do you need an estate plan? We cover all of these, each subject in a different chapter. And I really think that you're going to find this so helpful because at the end of every chapter, we have checklists that you can look at and you can use, and they can be a guide for you. So this is a wonderful manual that we've created. It's available on Amazon. You can also find it on our website at judithheft.com/book. And we're here for you. If you need anything, reach out. I hope you enjoy the book. Here's another picture of it, just so you know what's going on. Here it is. And I'm really proud of it. It's my second book. And I'd love to have you read it and give me your feedback. Judy Heft, judithheft.com, financial and lifestyle concierge, celebrating 26 years in business. And over the years, I've learned so much. And what I've been trying to do is impart a little bit of this knowledge to you so I can help all of you become as financially organized as I am. So welcome back. And so we're here with Ben Palancia again, the insurance guy. I love that little tagline that you have there. So is there any other types of insurance that we didn't talk about that you want to mention to our listeners?
I do a lot of builder's risk insurance. Builder's risk is really property coverage in construction. So anything put into a building, or building from scratch. We do a lot of that, whether it's a spec house, whether it's a property development, 50-story skyscraper. It doesn't matter what it is, but we do a lot of it. And again, all over the country. There's all sorts of types of insurance that we can go into when we have more time. But yeah, we're the ones when you don't know what to do or where to go, we're the ones to talk to.
Oh, that's great, Ben. Thank you. So how can our clients find you, our listeners find you? And first of all, what's a good referral source for you?
All right. So like a lot of businesses, we get a lot of referrals from accountants and lawyers, people that start corporations or start businesses or try and develop a new product. They need insurance, the people that are in that realm. But the large majority of our business actually comes from other insurance agents because we do such difficult types of property and casualty insurance. The generalists, the smaller agents like the Allstates and State Farms of the world, they rely on us for our expertise when they get something that's a little bit out of the box, and we help them. So by far and away, the best referral source is another insurance agent for me.
And also, I would think it would be other P&C people that only do, personal property and casualty, that type of thing.
Right. And there are a lot of those that do, or they just dip their toe in the commercial space a little bit. And that can get a little dangerous. So we try and help when
that's great.
We try and help our colleagues.
Absolutely. So how can our listeners find you?
Well, my website is probably the easiest way. It's palanciainsurance.com. It's www.palanciainsurance.com, and insurance is spelled out. You can also find me on LinkedIn, but yeah, that's the best way. We are on social media, not as much as we probably should be, like you, Judy, but we're working on it. And like I said, every client has my cell phone number, so they can find us through the web is probably the best way.
Oh, that's great, Ben. And I know it's always easy to get a hold of you. You are very responsive, and it's great to know that you give your cell phone out to your clients. So that's very helpful. So this was great talking to you. And, I learned a lot from you, a little bit more about your practice that I didn't really know. So that's great. It's always good to talk to you, Ben. So thanks
for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You've been listening to Mastering Your Financial Life, hosted by Judy Heft. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, and sharing this show with others. You can read chapters of Judy's books and catch prior episodes of Mastering Your Financial Life at www.judithheft.com.